Well, joining us is non-commercial whistleblower and rights activist Mahdi Shehu. Thank you so much for being here, Mr. Shehu.
Thank you. Good morning.
All right. Good morning. What's your take on the back and forth of what our lawmakers earn? Do you think it's a conversation that a country that's been neck deep in independence should be having now, especially when you look at Senate climes where the salaries of lawmakers are made public? But why is ours different? What are your take, or what's your take rather?
Okay, let me just compare the Senator Kawu's statement and the in-house denial. It's just like you come back home and your wife tells you that there is a snake in the kitchen. Just when you're outside the house, a mad woman tells you that there is a snake in the kitchen. That mad woman is just a stray woman. Which one are you likely to believe? You will definitely believe the wife because she's an insider. Senator Kawu is an insider. He's an active participant, a principal officer for that matter of the National Assembly. Therefore, I would rather believe Kawu in wholesale and retail than believe Revenue Mobilisation or any other counter from anybody. Because he has no reason to tell you lies. He has no benefit of telling you lies. I stand by Kawu. I believe his figure, and this figure is not the first time it is being made public. Senator Shehu in the past made a revelation of 17 million naira then. The figure has jumped to 21 million naira now. And we challenge any member of the National Assembly who have the courage, a senator, to show us his last month alert, where he received the so-called allowance and the whole salary. I have a personal friend, a serving senator. Yesterday, he opened his telephone, showed me the last alert he received, and it corroborates Kawu's position. 21 million naira. Actually, 21,448,000 naira was what my friend received last month. So why is the discrepancy? Why are they shouting all over? In fact, this is just a tip of the iceberg. 21 billion naira is just a tip of the iceberg. Let me give you the following disclosures. Now, everybody remembers that every senator was given 500 million naira constituency project. It was credited to their accounts directly. This is a breach of the Procurement Act. If you are giving somebody 500 million naira to undertake any project in his own constituency, number one, that project must be clearly defined, not at his own discretion. Number two, that allocation must be on the line item of a budget. It's not there. Any project that you are going to undertake with that money must be published through a tender. There will be people who will respond. There will be a technical and financial opening of the bid, and there will be award. None of them is there. There is no project consultant. Yet they have been given 500 million naira on a platter of gold. This is not part of the 21 million naira being contested. Number two, if you pick the 2024 budget, they allocated 20,388,000 million for what? For legislative aids. The salary of a legislative aid, which is never paid, is 250,000 naira per person. If you allocate 20,388 million for legislative salary for 2024, it means if you divide that number, you are going to have 81,552 legislative aid. If you divide that figure by 500, assuming there are 500 members and they are not up to 500, but round the figure, if you have 500 members sharing 81,552 legislative aid, paying them 250,000 naira per month, it means each senator will have, each member of the National Assembly will have 163 legislative aid. This is clearly a fraud. It's clearly a fraud. If that is not enough for you, look at what they did. They allocated 3 billion naira for car park. They allocated 4 billion naira for gymnasium. In a state, in a country where hunger has taken over the entire horizon, they are allocating 15 billion naira to build National Assembly Hospital, but they allocated 2 billion naira for the National Hospital Abuja. They allocated 15 billion naira for National Assembly Hospital. They allocated 2 billion naira to the National Hospital Abuja. No, they allocated 15 billion naira for National Library, for National Assembly Library. They allocated 983 million naira for the National Library, the whole country. I mean, these are people who are making it possible for us to make insinuations, very correct insinuations. They are not putting any hope in anybody.
Do you have, I mean, you've given very... Are you with us, sir, Mr. Shehu Mahdi?
Yes, I am. Yes, okay. I am with you.
I was saying that you've given us these are very strong statements that have been made. Even talking about your friend who showed you his alert, I was wondering if you'd be willing to share who he is. But in addition to that, let's talk about the role that the RMFC plays in all of this. We've talked about the lawmakers, but the RMFC has come out, to say they've disputed the statements made by Shehu Sani, who had stated that 13.5 million in his time, in addition to running cost, in addition to a salary of about 750,000 naira. But RMFC has come out to dispute what Shehu Sani has said, dispute, the recent allegations that have been made. But on their website, whilst they claim that it's 1 million naira, and they broke it down to the different earnings by these lawmakers, they said categorically that they cannot enforce the application of what the allocation by RMFC is, and that's a lacuna in the Constitution, a lacuna that can only be fixed by the National Assembly. So let's talk about the role that the RMFC has to play in all of this. Or are they completely not to be blamed in any way?
See, you believe revenue mobilization at your own risk. If they are the people responsible for harnessing, for gathering, for putting together all revenues accruing to the federal government and share it according to an agreed formula. What is the formula they used? Before their own very eyes last week, EFCC dipped their hand into their own account, removed 50 billion naira, and gave it as donation for the student loan. Now, where is revenue mobilization? Money that is recovered from looters, from thieves, from miscreants, our money belongs to the entire nation. Whatever is recovered by EFCC is supposed to be into a central pool that will be divided and shared among the states. Like, for instance, if there is a recovery from the Zamfara state, money meant for the Zamfara state is stolen by maybe a civil servant or public servant of the Zamfara state, and another recovery from Nasarawa, another recovery from Katsina, another recovery from Oyo, Oshun, Ogu, put together at EFCC pool. Where is the moral justification for revenue mobilization to look away when this money is being removed and given out as donation? So if there can be spectators, they can be onlookers, they can just fold their arms. That is to tell you that they have abandoned their responsibility. They don't even understand their mandate in the Constitution. Their mandate is they have to ensure that a single kobo coming in is shared according to an agreed formula. And there is an agreed formula. But they are looking at it because Revenue Mobilization, Allocation, and Fiscal Commission is now a political wing of APC or a political wing of any party in power. So I don't believe them. You can show me a billion websites. Websites are built by individuals and they can be manipulated by individuals. I don't believe what is on the website. I believe not hearsay, but people confessing with facts. I'm not going to tell you this, my friend. We agreed I'm not going to disclose his name, but he showed me that figure. And I saw it yesterday. And I believe him in wholesale and in retail.
All right. So it's Senator Kawu versus his counterparts. Now, and it seems like one person is talking too much, is blowing the whistle louder, and therefore he needs to actually keep quiet. That's what it's looking like. But then again, there's a cause for worry here, and the cause for worry affects over 200+ million Nigerians. What can be done? Is it high time for the House of Assembly, in short, for the senators, for everyone to come out clean and say, this is how much we earn? And do you think that RMFC should actually be scrutinized? Because it seems like we're hearing a different report from one side, a different report from another side. How can we nip this in the bud? Because Nigerians are starting to really think that they're being taken for a ride.
If you're expecting the senators to come out clean, it means you are blowing your own trumpet too much. Don't expect any of them to come out clean. Why do I say so? Look at the circumstances under which they emerge as senators. By the last count, in June this year, 64% of members of the National Assembly are either facing trial in court or are under criminal investigation, or are under investigation. Current 63% of them have existing either a court case or a criminal proceeding, or they are under EFCC investigation. The current members. How can somebody with a questionable circumstance come out clean? He is already dirty. Number two, how do you expect a senator who sat down in the National Assembly and approved that a borehole in Akpabio's constituency be sunk at the cost of 184 million naira per borehole? It's in the budget. How do you expect a senator to come out clean? The same senator who approved 193 million naira for one single street light in Akpabio's constituency. I can continue giving you endless examples. How do you expect a senator to come up clean when he allocated 100 billion naira for administration in SGF office, only for him to allocate 110 billion naira for agriculture nationwide? People who emerge through questionable circumstances will never have the wisdom and the courage and the guts and the audacity to come out clean. Don't forget, I can give you a clear example. Senator Ahmed Lawal, Senator Akpabio, as they are being addressed, did not emerge through a political process. They didn't buy INEC form for Senate. They were not there during the primary for Senate. They were not nominated as candidates. Their names were not on the ballot papers, and yet they emerged as senators, Federal Republic of Nigeria. How can such people come out clean? They can never come out clean because ab initio, it is dirty, it is messy, it is stinky. The process, the procedure that brought it to the National Assembly. And I can challenge, let there be any senator worth his own salt, either a Christian or a Muslim or anybody, swear by the Quran, swear by the Bible, or swear if you go to shrine by the shrine, that his election was not marred by fraud, by overvoting, by snatching, by running away. None of them could do that.
Right.
If somebody came into the National Assembly under questionable circumstances, don't expect him to be clean, so they will never come clean. As to revenue mobilization, please, in the name of God, stop talking about them. They are already there for the government. They are part of the political wing of APC. They will never discharge their constitutional responsibility, which they don't even understand. Believe them at your own peril.
Do you have concerns? Do you worry about the future of Senator Kawu, especially because, if you recall, Senator Abdul Ningi, who made claims about the discrepancies in the 2024 budget, talking about the fact that 3.7 trillion, I believe, was not traceable to any project. We recall what happened to him and how he was suspended for about 75 days. Even though many claims that it was more of a witch hunt of some sort. Now, if we're seeing Senator Kawu, who is speaking and doing the same thing against his colleagues, because they all seem to be on the same page against him, do you fear that this might be his fate?
I don't have any fear. In fact, if they don't suspend him, it is news to me. Suspending him will not be a news. I expect that in the coming days, Kawu Sumaila may be suspended. Maybe 90% possibility of him being suspended. But the cat is already out of the bag. And I wish they will continue suspending senators who make this public statement so that the public understand who we are dealing with. We are dealing with people who are called lawmakers. We are dealing with people who are supposed to understand freedom of expression. We are dealing with people who are supposed to understand the tempo and the pulse of the society. But lo and behold, they have converted themselves into a clique and a cartel and a cabal, insisting that seeing you see not, hearing you hear not, neither do you understand, you must continue to pray. Any society that is afflicted by people like this, who are supposed to be upholding the cause of Nigeria, a society afflicted by a senate like our own senate, is a society doomed. It's a society in a sorry state. In a society with no hope, no future. It's a society that will remain in melancholy and sadness. It's a society that can only be saved by the act of no.
And I think the final way to wrap up this conversation is, whilst we're seeing multiple reports and multiple claims, how can Nigerians hold their lawmakers accountable to ensure that, one, the truth comes out regarding exactly what is being earned, and two, if we find that truly they're earning much more than they should, especially in an economy that is struggling like Nigeria, that we can ensure that, I mean, there's some who would argue that they should be leveled, their earnings should be leveled to that of the civil servants, even though I don't know if that is going to happen here in Nigeria. But the question is, how can Nigerian citizens hold our lawmakers accountable?
They should have a scale, a parameter, a yardstick to believe or to ascertain whom they give representation. You don't hand over representation to people with questionable educational background, questionable records in service, on criminal trials, under investigation. You hand over. Akpabio was being investigated for 438 billion naira allegations of fraud while he was the governor and chairman of the NDDC. In the midst of that scandal, he became a Senate president. People must wake up. And if such are the senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, God save the electorates. And if such are the docile electorates, God save democracy, God save Nigeria, and God save the world.
Wait, right. I mean, I know that I did say there was a last question, but I'm so sorry. Permit me to sneak in this one as the last one for real. You just talked about Godwin Akpabio, okay. Senator Godswill Akpabio. Do you have any faith in his leadership?
Absolutely no. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm at 0 level. I don't believe him tracing his history as a governor, tracing his history as chairman of NDDC, and looking at the way and manner he emerged, first as a senator, secondly as a president of the Senate. I have no iota of confidence in him. I have no iota of trust in him. In fact, I see him as a destroyer. Under his very watch, questionable issues are being conducted, questionable projects are being imposed and put down our throats. Money is being spent recklessly. They are approving virtually everything for the president, as if to say that we have only one Senate now under one party. For me, they start on his mandate. There is no difference between a senator from Labour Party, from PDP, from APC, or from any other party for that matter. In changing Nigerians, they are one. In suppressing Nigerians, they are one. In cajoling Nigerians, they are one. And in deceiving Nigerians, they are one and the same.
All right.
A lot has been said, but I want to say thank you so much, non-commercial whistleblower and rights activist Mahdi Shehu, for joining us this morning. We look forward to have you again, and hopefully this would not be the end of this conversation. Nigerians deserve, they deserve to know. I always say this, at the end of every year, a report is being shared where top bank executives are indeed put out in the public on how much they earn. We know how much the owners of the MDs, the executives, the CEOs of blue chip companies, we know. I mean, Elon Musk, who's actually running X, we know how much he earns in terms of his capital and so on and so forth. So why is it so difficult that we do not know how much a senator earns in Nigeria? It's quite funny.
When next we meet, I will give you the name of companies, of senators that are conducting businesses in all government MDAs with the amounts involved.
That would be next week, and we'll have a date with you, and we'll do that here on Breakfast Central. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you.